I saw beautiful words transmogrified on the tip of a charlatan's tongue, burning like hot acid, but all dressed up like a pretty girl with a nice ass. Our charismatic leader is not a critical thinker, but he did sleep in a Holiday Inn last night. Even if his message robs you slowly, it will still kill you. Thou shalt not follow crazy motherfuckers. I saw authentic words turn fake on the tongue of a do-gooder who only does good when people are watching. His sacred virtue lies exposed as simple masturbation, regardless of what he imagines when he closes his eyes. His own gratification is all that matters. His death is autoerotic asphyxiation. Thou shalt avoid self-fellatio. I saw solid words turn hollow on the tongue of a capitalist, raping and starving in the name of neoliberalism. The world is his oyster, money is worship, and people are fodder. There's a voracious fire waiting. His material wealth will feed the inferno that devours him. Thou shalt not exploit God's children, even with enough money to make it legal. I saw innocent words turn into gilded shards on the tongue of an elitist. His sails punctured by his own hubris, and now he crashes down in the direction of his condescension. Thou shalt not be an asshole. I saw kind words turn crass on the tongue of a misanthrope. He drowned in a sea of negativity. An autopsy performed upon his death revealed that his heart had calcified. There was no blood, flesh, or other human material. Over many years, his heart turned to stone. The biggest tragedy was the last years of his life. He lost the ability to give or receive love. He died while still living. Thou shalt not be hateful. I saw, that's the 10 Commandments of Chuck, y'all. I'm glad y'all agree with mine. If I was the big dude upstairs, that'd be my fucking 10 Commandments. Absolutely. I saw attractive words turn into uncut ugliness on the tongue of a vain man. There was so much beauty just beyond his mirror, but he couldn't turn away from his own good looks. All that missed opportunity. The reflection upon his life became hideous. Thou shalt not be a little bitch. I saw holy words turn into shackles on the tongue of a believer. His sacred book stating, obey your master the way you would obey me. He couldn't betray his creator to liberate himself, so he accepted the crime against his body. If the book didn't lie, then he needs a new God. Thou shalt not be stupid. And I gotta tell y'all what I just recently, right before I wrote this, I read Uncle Tom's Cabin. Oh wow! And Uncle Tom, he's not the dude who people say he is. He wasn't dancing for nobody or trying to. He was a solid dude, but the only thing, he believed in God so much that he wouldn't hurt nobody to free himself. He ain't gonna kill no, and that's some dumb shit if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? So if you look to your Bible, they tell you some shit like throw that motherfucker away. So anyway, we got a few more commandments here. I saw brilliant words turn to foolishness on the tongue of a shallow man. He scoffed at genius and sneered at wisdom, deriding anything beyond his limited cultural experience. He was not interested in knowing what he didn't already know. Ignorance was not his crime. It was his lack of intellectual curiosity. He could eat, shit, drink, fuck, bitch, and watch football with the best of them, but he never contemplated the Alpha and the Omega, asked how. An autopsy upon his death confirmed he died a Philistine. Thou shalt not be a dumbass. I saw kind words turn cruel on the tongue of a violent man. He punched, slapped, and choked his way to the grave, a raging storm of trauma and chaos. And yes, he died the way he lived. His violence was a force multiplier. Other storms spawned from his hands still rage, carving their own paths of destruction. His body will rest in pain. Thou shalt keep your hands to your fucking self. I saw sincere words turn to rhetoric on the tongue of a politician, well appointed, with a great smile on the surface. The presentation was impeccable. He tossed out platitudes with the dexterity of an auctioneer, but he had the moral compass of a serial killer. His stated goal was to work on behalf of his constituents, but he only worked to get and maintain power. The people were food, so they loved him. He hurt them 100 times more than he helped. Upon his death, he was cast to Plato's cave, while he spent eternity viewing a detestable reflection of himself, framed by the heartbreak and disappointment of the people who believed in him. Thou shalt not be a bullshit artist. So these next two poems are about beauty, right? And it just so happened I was reading a collection of Oscar Wilde's writings, and I didn't like so much the short stories inside. I was almost about to put it down. I know it sounds crazy, I'm a big Oscar Wilde fan, but I said, no, I've got to keep it. Oh, but man, the essays and shit just blew my fucking mind. And I just happened to be reading Oscar Wilde, and after that I read Alain Locke, right? Alan Locke. And they were both talking about beauty. And Alan Locke was this black guy from the Harlem Renaissance, and he was saying that it's art for art's sake. That if an artist does art for anything but art, for art's sake, then it's propaganda. It's not really art. Now I think that's bullshit. You know, some of y'all might agree with it, but for me, it's fucking bullshit, right? And so, anyway, the second poem I wrote with Oscar Wilde and Alain Locke in mind. But I'm gonna read this first poem and then get to the second. It says, beauty has always been. It doesn't need the validation of human senses. It precedes humanity. It existed before space exploded. There was beauty in the sublimity of nothingness. A pristine aquarium of space representing all of the possibilities of everything that might ever exist. We have only scratched the surface. Beauty is earthly, it is extraterrestrial, an existential necessity. It brings all of the colors, titillating the lower chakra while stimulating the intellect. It might be obscured by the storm, but the storm is finite. It can only rage for so long. Minus consideration of person and property, there's a spectacular waltz in the deluge. If a man says that beauty doesn't exist, it may be proof of his sad existence, but it says nothing about beauty. A life void of beauty is wretched, a wasteland, unconducive. We experience an infinitesimal slice of the watchmaker's aesthetic, a touchstone lifting the sights of civilization, saving us from a vulgar dystopia. All rational beings need beauty, especially the misanthrope. We create new ways to harness its power. Beauty is boundless and infinite. It is a carrot coaxing humanity out of the muck. What else can I say about beauty? Right? We say that God created us in his image. Perhaps we created him in ours. Right. Why else would God be jealous? We are only human. That would make God petty. The road was not paved with good intentions. It was laid with the evil expectation of snake venom and dragon fire. We castigate dogs for eating dogs, but man's appetite for man is more voracious. On this matter, we cannot claim superiority over dogs. What else might I say about beauty? A girl wants to terminate a pregnancy. She's scolded by rabid interlocutors on the sanctity of life. The baby is born with all of the needs created by God. The mother and child is abandoned. It is forgotten the baby is sacred. The sperm and egg were the only matter. We love the earth but hate the dirt. Didactic hypocrites are the new black. We prefer police to teachers instead of schools. We build jails. What else might I say about beauty? Now this next line, all of this happened in New Orleans within a week's time. A son kills his father. A mother kills her daughter. And 3 children are swallowed by the river. The wheel of violence is always grinding. We choose not to stop it or slow it down. In the eyes of the executioner, we want blood. It makes for good sleep. No sympathy for what brought them here. No desire to change that. Justice becomes a miscarriage of itself. And the community takes no responsibility for the deeds of the tormented or the dead. What else might I say about beauty? The stock market's at an all-time high. Homeless encampments are the new suburban sprawl. An old lady sleeps on a pissy mattress beneath the bridge, a ubiquitous symbol of iniquity. She lives unnoticed until she has the audacity to ask for $1. It's a really short poem right here. And I think this poem informs most of my work. And I start off with this quote by Victor Hugo. It comes from Les Miserables. And but I heard I got this quote from Muhammad Ali, but I just read Les Miserables about a year ago. And besides, he could take Waterloo out, and he spent too much fucking time in the sewer. Yep. I love the fucking book though. Other than that, it was great.
It's a long one.
It's a long one. It's a long. But I gotta tell you why I don't mind reading long books like that, right? I like drinking coffee with my friends. I wake up in the morning. I used to have this community of, before the pandemic, black, white, transgender, all of us. Rosa Cola and French to me, it's like if we didn't come to coffee with each other, we were cheating or something. So we always had to go. And so we learn a lot from each other. Sometimes we just bullshit. Other times we talk about serious matters. But say like somebody like Victor Hugo, I will never ever be able to have coffee with him, right? But whenever I pick up his fucking book, I'm having that cup of coffee. Right. Me and him, we're having this conversation. He telling me about how he sees the fucking world. You know what I'm saying? So because because I think about it that way, I don't give a fuck that it's 1,300 pages. I'm listening to this smart motherfucker that lived 200 years ago.
Fair enough.
If the soul is left in darkness, sins will be committed. The guilty one is not the one who commits to sin. It's the one who causes the darkness. And that's the Victor Hugo quote right there. And this one is called In the Dark. It says, there are beasts lurking in the darkness. All men are stalked here, including non-violent pacifists. Prepare to fight or perish. It is impossible to walk out unchanged. Soft edges are weak links. Humans are like domesticated pigs in the wild. It isn't long before the teeth grow long and sharp. The name of the game is survival. God bless the babies born here. They all deserve the light. Beauty strands mortified, and hardy strands of virtue still stand, though desperation festers. The desperate devour their own. They are not the ones who cause the darkness. So I came from a black working class community up in the Carrollton area. This is the name of my hood right here. P-Town, And so you was right in the you was right in the heart of it, sir. You know what I'm fucking talking about.
Yes, I do.
Yep. And so, Huh?
I know Ducky from the Steppers.
Oh, okay. All right. the Pentatonic Steppers. All right. So, I wrote this about. I went to Xavier, and when I was in college one night over some silliness. Right? I don't even know the fucking dude. This motherfucker shot up the car with me and my 3 brothers in it. No, me and one of my brothers and my 2 friends. You know what I'm saying? It's just like over over the silliest shit ever. This motherfucker that shut out the whole car with, and so I wrote this with that in mind. And I'm also communicating the fact that as a young black guy growing up in Pigeon Town, it's the saddest thing is that I'm 58 years old right now. I ain't fucking never think I was gonna be 25.
Right.
And that's why I used to party my fucking ass off. I was the first one at the party, the last one. I drank all fucking day because I feel like I ain't have no fucking time. Like whatever I gotta do, I gotta get that shit in because I anticipated some silly shit was gonna happen. You know, that's a whole nother story. We could talk about that again sometime. But I call this when bus fare ain't enough. I was never a gangster. I never sold drugs. I never carried a gun. I helped the timid boys. I worked every day since the age of 15. I respected my elders. I went to college after the Marine Corps. I paid taxes. I knew my virtues couldn't save me. I smelled the residue of violence and bloodletting beyond the front door before pubic hairs. We all expected to face the monster. We are taught to look in the eyes and not back down, raised to fight like cocks, not by those who hated others, but by the ones who loved us. Their wish was for us to make it home. It's what you use when bus fare ain't enough. We forget the reason why. We morph into something strange. Violence changes us. Cooked in the country's DNA, we are not the progenitor. Every day, a renewed awareness of mortality. I wish to take it for granted like normal people. There are better things to think about. I was shocked to see your gun, the nefarious amulet and constant visitor of my dreams. I didn't know you, but I have been expecting you for years. I imagine more intrigue, a better storyline with a hint of sex appeal. You and I do our war dance over frivolity, and you about to kill me for nothing. The outsiders cannot hear the incessant soliloquy whispering to young brothers like you and me. Draw your line in the sand. Hold your chin forward. You stand in the fire like a man. You could never be a slave. A silent voice born out of terrorism. I pray it's true. We are more than adversaries. We're both victims. This doesn't stop me from being afraid, and it doesn't save me from hating you. But no time for introspection. You shoot up the car. 4 lives hang in the balance. Only the devil uses power so. When the bullets stop, along with your exposition on the insignificance of life, I am happy to still breathe. We did not call the police. How does one cheat fate? When the beefs and grudges were wiped clean, when the music was turned off, when the party was over and the beer is gone, when the only companion in the room should have been peace and quiet, you would always appear, the dreaded figment of my imagination, the one who robs the terrorized of sleep. This includes all poor people. You have been on my mind from the moment I became aware the possibility of our commingled fate existed. Whenever I stepped out of the door, I didn't know when you would come, but I was sure you were coming. However tragic, they call it destiny. All right, I'll tell you what. I started it with the 10 Commandments. I'm gonna end it with the Gospel of China. All right. Blessed are the grandmothers who raise their grandchildren. They find reciprocity and the happiness of babies. Their gift will be a new world constructed on the building blocks of unrelenting devotion, where they sing and dance and be joyful without worry, because the work is done. They will rest in the glory of the ultimate guardian. Their hearts will be unbreakable. Every child will have a mother and father, and they will rest easy. Blessed are the men who are fathers, not by blood. Theirs is a rare virtue. They have aced the test of humanness, forever unaware their mundane machinations are philanthropic. Their gift will be a world of radiant sunshines where all men exercise the best attributes of the best fathers. Love will reproduce love like the cells of Henrietta Lacks, and billions of souls will coexist in perfect harmony. And blessed are the boys who free their mothers from poverty. They watch them work like 20th century sharecroppers, trying to bring comfort to their families, running on a hamster wheel and losing ground. Sometimes the mothers are beaten to submission. Sometimes they self-medicate on alcohol and Jesus. The boys' dream is to take their mother's hands and carry them safely to the other side of turbulent waters. The lucky ones will buy them houses. The love between these mothers and sons did not start at the crossing of the birth canal. This sacred love precedes time. If the world is to make sense, maternal virtue must be rewarded. Their gift will be a world where sons rest easy because their mothers rest easy, and every day is bursting with the gratitude of Christmas morning when there's something special for everyone. Blessed are the children who liberate themselves from poverty. With natural ability, heart, and tenacity, defying all odds, they are remarkable. Their gift will be a world where hope and promise are not obliterated before puberty, dreams are not deferred, and all people die in full command of their potential with a keen sense of equality. Mother Nature will continue to grace each person with everything required to be exceptional, and all societies will assist their citizens in the pursuit of finding their life's purpose, minus the gravitational bulldoze of historic and generational poverty. None of the precious stones will have to be uncovered. Everyone will shine. Blessed are the prodigal sons, the ones possessed by the spirit of Sankofa. They have left the village acquiring so much knowledge, but their return is necessary to teach, coach, and mentor. There are lessons to learn for everyone. Their gift will be a world where the only need to return is for love and celebration. Blessed are the women with subpar wages who are mothers to all. They will manifest a plate of food, a warm jacket, or a hug when needed, without the condescension cloaked in fake altruism. Their gift will be a world where every person has a table, and the centerpiece of every table is a cornucopia. The angels will eat well. Blessed are the ones who offer second chances. They know the human soul is redeemable. They can forgive even while hurting. Shouts of fool will be heard from the ecumenical choir, but the forgivers are nearer to the one. They are the redemption of humanity. Their gift will be a world where hell doesn't exist, only purgatory. Every soul will be granted time to perfect divinity. When the golden trumpets blow, the saints go marching in will be the heavenly soundtrack. Blessed are the ones who live with vigor. Despite life's tragic comedy, they walk with eagerness, drinking the wine, smelling the roses, and eating the dreaded apple. Sometimes they overindulge, all this and more without regret. They laugh, cry, and curse their maker. They are the most evolved amongst us. Their gift will be a world perfect in its imperfection, where no one is afraid to be human.
My first piece is an audience participation piece. No one has to say anything out loud, but at the end of this, we'll all be collaborators. And I'll be able to read a few more things to my collaborators. So I'm going to read a list of words. In the English language, if any of you have English as a second language, you know how difficult our language is. We have words that are pronounced the same with completely different meanings. This, I don't normally title my pieces. This has a title. It's called A Murder of No's. So keep in mind the two no's. You know something, or no, don't do it. Okay? I'm gonna read these words, and you're all gonna be the poets, okay? Religion, expectation, politicians, terrorists, bullshit, redemption, hope, misery, love, happiness, sorrow, loss, anger, bigotry, sexism, ignorance, equality, fear, respect, ego, understanding, forgiveness, justice, peace. The last one, only one note suffice, the score. Thank you. Okay, I feel better now. Now we're all poets. Living my past, I am never alone. Trapped in my cloak of solitude, I cry out, am I to be saved? Can I be redeemed? Do the shadows of what used to be have to cast their dark pall on my spirit always? The angel of emotional death spreads her black wings. She promises peace eternal in her cold embrace. To feel nothing is to be nothing. Absolution promised in her sweet kiss, oblivion possessed. To unburden myself to another selfish. The weight of the four things is one's burden alone. It poisons what it touches, as it should. These things must be kept with me in my solitude. Thanks. Blessed with an angel's kiss, damned to loneliness, never to find happiness. A lonely soul in a lonely room looks out of a window into a godless world. The hope that's left slowly fades. Just another lonely day today. The seven devils of perdition dance upon a blackened sea, waiting for me, the saint of blasphemy. Cursed with an angel's sight, I see the world, I feel its bite. I hurt today as you will tomorrow. The demon's chains will bind you to sorrow. In the shadows, can't you see it's me, the saint of blasphemy? Damn the heavens, angels in fades. They come down and fire rains. Wars are fought and souls are spent, all in the name of heaven sent. Fuck them all, that's what I feel. One God, one law, the same for all. Here I'll sit in a little boat on an endless sea. That's where you'll find me, the saint of blasphemy. I woke this morning and no birds sang. No breezes blew, there was an emptiness, a hollow where substance should be. I felt like a beggar slouching to Armageddon with an empty cup, knowing it wouldn't be filled today. Not today, maybe not any day. I can hear the howling of the wolves as they bay at a fingernail moon in a cloudless sky and cry for the lost and forlorn. There are dark times ahead, but sunrises come no matter how dark the night. Then the time of the wolves will arise out of the eldritch dim. The hunters, the haters, the herders will be savaged in their beds, impaled by the naked truths of their lies and deceits, forever to be damned to the outer lands, away from the warmth of hearth and home, to be deservedly outcast and set adrift on the sea of their own iniquities. You walk this wasteland under a sky of moonlight and rain on a field of chaos and ashes. You are the fire. You are the fire that will light the way home, unquenchable, eternal. Your fire is the essence of your soul's redemption. That will not be smothered. Belial, Lord of lawlessness, rules this wasteland, and the wasteland grows larger every day. The world is a crime scene to be transcended. You are the fire that will light your true path. Find your own purpose. You will dance in this world the way you choose, to the music driven by the beat of your own heart. Life is lived in the blink of an eye. Love is just hello and goodbye. You will survive this density of horror that at times seems to consume you, yet you move forward, onward to a blood-red sunrise. You are the fire unquenchable. You'll know and understand. Living is the adventure. Surviving is the art. Why does the land of the free feel like a cage? I'm told how to feel. They're watching me all the time. Everything I say is heard by everyone. Why does the land of the free feel like a cage? Unbound by religion, country, color, and class, to be told over and over that I am living the best life to be expected, taken care of and told what is best for me. Why does the land of the free feel like a cage? They silence our brothers, our sisters, our sons and daughters. Our fathers cry out for vengeance, our mothers placated with platitudes and lies. Why does the land of the free feel like a cage? We are promised opportunity and told that anyone can have it all. Live their dreams. Like a carrot on a stick, the eternal hope is held just out of reach. Why does the land of the free feel like a cage? How can so few have so much while so many are struggling to survive? Where children go hungry and deprived of the life so falsely promised. Why does the land of the free feel like a cage? Now, under the mad king's reign of ashes, I come to know the reality. The place I live has a face, but it doesn't look like me. Knowing that, realizing the true reality, I can see now. I can see the bars now. And I know this land of the free is a cage for me. Do you believe what I say? Can anyone comprehend the original intent of words spoken, taken away by the wind? The Scirocco blows around intentions and meanings are lost in time. Right now, I feel adrift. All moorings to emotions are gone into the blue-black night. Is it morning, midnight, 3 a.m.? When do the shadows lift and reveal the soul beneath? This city is in ruins, but we can rebuild again. Faith, hope in tomorrow will arise the sun and awaken the benevolence of Ra, the deity of deities. He will come into the world through countless souls and redeem us all. I sit and I watch the blade of grass. I feel it grow beneath my feet. I hear the rustle of the wind under a blanket of obsidian, spotted with the light of 1,000,000 stars. I watch as life renews itself through immense loss. Never to look back, only forward. I know the storms will come and the dry rivers will flow again. Life-giving rains that will sustain us all. Through the dark and thirsty times, slowly I bend down and see my reflection in the water. And I know who I am. I want more. The raven understands. Do not bend, but stand unyielding under the weight of days and survive. Then fly away home. This house is dark. There was a time the house was bright, full of hope and life. Now the lights are out, the dark licks at the windows as an obscene hobgoblin tries to get in. Once there were lungs to breathe free, a heart so it could love. It had a soul so it could feel compassion. Now it stands gray and forlorn, nothing left but a house of bones. No more. This house won't define who I am. I will find the windows that will let in the light once again. My lungs will breathe again. My heart will love again. Most of all, my soul will be set free to feel the warmth of compassion once again. But for now, I stand alone in this sad and empty house of bones. These bones are strong, though. They can withstand the onslaught of immorality that shades it now. It can be clothed again with the skin of reason and responsibility, with eyes of hope and equality. But for now, we must take a stand as one to find the light, each in our own house of bones.
Yeah.
The machine forced to feed. Used to be human before servos and circuitry. My programming online, leaving emotions behind. Hearts that could feel, took too long to heal. What used to be mine, severed to streamline. Eliminating philosophy, replaced with efficiency. Humanity obsolete, soul incomplete, organism uncompatible. Lust, love, hope, pain does not compute. Bullseye, delete from memory. Activate CPU. Soulless thing called machine, circulating electricity. Nothing left of me. A machine called apathy. See if I can see my paper without my glasses. I'll give it a shot. Music is life. Dancing is life. These are the things that give me inspiration. Art is life. In the end, it is all art. Everything that flows forth in all its varying forms is divine essence. For from where else do all things come? From the void flows an ecstatic, quivering desire to be realized, to be manifest in self-expression. The self made beautiful in its truth. These are the faces of God, eyes burning bright with eternal fire.
Salad?
Oh, y'all good? I think I rushed through that one. It's okay. Never before played that one, or a lot of these tonight, so.
Fantastic.
This one's called Mosquito Bites. I want more. More of you, more of your life, more of your love in this life. Passion, ecstasy, pain, wine on my lips, on my crotch, blood stains. My breath reeking of cheap beer and sex. Dribbling, drooling, dripping embryos down my chin. Again, again, and again. Reach for me, wretched me, holy he. Lost in love, belief, and the war inside of me. My mouth on your breast, my hand up your skirt. Soft lips, soft lights, sex in the park, mosquito bites. This was called Endless Light. You're on my mind. You live in my bones. My body rebels, punishing me for being apart from you. Kicking in my doors, leaving footprints on my heart. Ground me, pin me to the floor. Dance with me, fight me, fuck me, love me, hate me, need me, bleed me, tear me, take me. Your softness, your whispers, breaking the hardest parts of me. Bleeding Buddhas, dancing Dharmapadas. I don't want to be your man, I want to be your God, worshipping at your temple. Your hips, your thighs, your heat, your mind, bathing my shadow in endless light. I'm a circle, collecting expressions and bringing them back to the divine. That is why self-expression is the highest act of existence, the highest prayer, the holiest endeavor. No need for piety. I am not a martyr. I am not a saint. There are more paths to the divine. These were not for me. I am not this person, only a version. There is no more want, there is no more need. Only the task of planting a seed. It's hard to find your glasses when you don't have them on. This is the love that binds. Babylon at its best. The wicked never rest. Here we are in the valley of death. The bones in the past all fade with time. Nothing lasts. Shadows cast. Premonitions of the future. Visions of the past. My soul is counting. Intuition is screaming at me. Leave it all behind. More and like to find the love that binds. This one's called Nola. It's about their woman. If you look at that. Lover, I miss her, and I be intimate with her again. I always thought I would die in her arms. She seduced me and I loved her. She tested my strengths and I showed her my weaknesses. We melded together. We became one. I was clothed in the skin of the underbelly. I lived in the entrails of the beast. I miss her. Her ancient architecture, her dark past, the moss growing in between the bricks in her streets. And her true beauty, which is seen only at night, between shadows, amid various states of inebriation.
Woo!
I sacrificed my body on the altar of experience. Who am I to deny God this? The divine needs not my divinity. It seeks only self-expression. This is my duty, my only task, a singular purpose. So many things trapped inside. Get it out. Get it out. This is the purpose of your existence. The accumulation of your burden. There is no beginning. There is no end. Only to burn from the fire within. Let your passion be your mark, and you will never die. You will live forever in the heart of God. Here I stand on the edge of eternity, breathless as I witness everything. Who am I? One. I explore, reside in six, become part of worlds that you will never see. Creating worlds with the flick of an eyelash. You blink your eyes in your sleep, casting dreams while shadows creep. Her voice echoes deep, making killers cry and babies sleep. Sitting here on the edge of the water, on the edge of the sea, beautiful, dark, and cold. It reminds me of my life. It reflects me, flowing and teeming with life, but slowly drifting away from me. I love like the undercurrents of the ocean, set on their own course. Pull me in. Take me, love me, break me, save me, silent waters overtake me. Here's a longer piece. myself, this sounds like so many other days, but no one day is like any other. Similar at best, but never exactly the same. Life's too chaotic. She had commented on the tattoo on his left arm. A moon from a forgotten planet. Stars from a forgotten galaxy. So far away. So far away. He is amazed at just how far away he really is. Jumping from star to star, galaxy to galaxy. He just keeps drifting further and further from where he once was. Done so many things, been to so many places, so many experiences. He couldn't possibly remember them all. Lifetimes within a lifetime. He says out loud, uncaring you heard him. He was alone, yet surrounded by people, creatures, races from all over this world and beyond. Who knows, maybe they feel like I do, he ponders quietly. I doubt it, he thinks to himself. And how could anyone? No one has been to all the places I've been, seen all the things I've seen. I'm a spacer, special breed of human, destined and determined to explore the abysmal expanses of space. Hollow depths of solitude, and ultimately the empty places of one's own mind. Quiet here. All is cold. Another night, another flight, constantly moving, yet always finding yourself in the same place, dwelling in the nameless dark between each star, surrounded by nothing but memories, places I've been, people I've seen, and dreams and places I've yet to be. Somewhere, nowhere. Lost in space, lost in time, hanging, fleeting, dying. Somewhere, so big, so cold, so lonely. No one here to share this with. How many nights have I done this? How many nights? It doesn't change. Stars are born, supernovas collapse, worlds collide. Here I am again, on the edge of the galaxy, lost in space, lost in time, alone again with my bride. A ship with no destination, a shooting star blazing brilliantly, but doesn't matter, with no one to witness, with no one to see. The moon, here I am again, the moon my only companion. The stars, my only friends. Drifting through space, just a spacer. Exploring the galaxy, leaving tracers. She knows desire, cold heart on fire, her blood and mine, sex mixed with wine, pure lust divine, tangled flesh entwined. She is a dream. She'll build you up, then burn you down. She's indeed a queen without a crown. She'll take you down, drag you down. She is a dream. Once you get a taste, you'll want no other. Take her down. Sex, blood, wine, ecstasy, anguish, pain, pleasure. Black widow death, tied to treasure. Life and bliss, or so it seems. She is a dream. Sly like Lilith, fertile like Eve, beautiful like Dionysus. You'll want her for yourself, but you know she'll never be. I want you. I want you. She whispers, you'll never have me. She is a dream. Falling away, drifting in space, living without you, choke on the pain, shattered dreams like Saturn's rings, no new horizons, no new dreams, fading away, blackened embrace, out of time, out of place. No way home, no way back. Falling alone in absolute black. All of my dreams are coming true, except the one where I have you. Unfulfilled dreams, unrequited tears, a life half lived without you, the sum of all my fears. I am the darkened one. I'll never be as beautiful as you. Sometimes in dreams I find your body glistening in candlelight, and how your skin felt next to mine. I miss you, my wife. Your sweat drips, it makes love to mine. I bleed for you in simple, quiet moments in the night. Lost souls, lost nights. I chose this life. My feelings fade as my dreams of you drift away. I'm so lonely without you. Blackened and unclean. I'm a star, witnessing itself as it explodes, sending love and peace throughout the universe, in all directions, in all times, past, present, and future. A star doesn't seek acceptance, only to burn. There is no drug that exists that could eclipse this. Sitting on the edge of the water, on the edge of the sea, beautiful, dark, and cold. It reminds me of my life. It reflects me, flowing and teeming with light, but slowly drifting away from me. Thank you so much.
Standing on Avenue A. Woo! Standing in front of Ray's Candy Store with Crazy J from Avenue A, these four people in nice racing jackets are standing by two motorcycles. They're still and quiet. The guy from the shadow, the only name I hear, the guy from the shadows there. Flash is a newspaper, dirty, anarchy rag. Recycling the Tompkin Park riots, tiny injustices, wanting to be part of that huge global injustice. But really you can't beat that shit that's going on in Egypt. They just grab you there, the security guys, nail a crime on you, put you in a cage, and that's it. You are done. Here on Avenue A, the cops arrest the same handful of guys. G, Jules, and if he's lucky, Chance, and they pop right out again. It's hard to keep feeling bad. Not arresting them would seem like a failure of reaction, after all. G just standing there with his head bleeding, in a skirt, a frilly hat, projecting, fuck you, over and over. Choice with his, it's 'cause I'm black routine. I'm a broke-ass motherfucker, G asserts, after spitting the same rhyme he penned in a halfway house last year, and that's actually a pretty good one. Jules taking a swing at a federal agent, ridiculous really, so tiny and willfully clownish and crinkled with middle-aged wisdom. Not the worst facial tattoos, but of course facial tattoos are not the predictor of a man. A man with those bad, as in not good, scrawly face tats might draw a map of the world predicated on the best speed. He might wait outside a bar to stab a fag in the gut. He could be a rocky, opium-seeking wisp of a kid, still sweet, never trained, with a broken and harsh chick sending him on a run for her life. But the still people are drinking a beer. Nobody Irish believes how arrest-happy we are over here. There's an open container law to criminalize public beer drinking. Ooh. If society was something besides a series of dumb accidents, though what would a smart accident look like exactly? You might think it's a law created to keep the bars open, turning their 500% profit, drawing in the bare-legged girls who are all going to wear tuxedo shorts and bondage pumps every possible day for the next 4.5 months. And some of them are going to keel right over. A lot of them are going to get fucked, teased, distressed, and found. Then they're American, really. All those smooth leathers with the wedges of color, these four. The second or third time the undercover cab rides by, an undercover man who looks like the same type as them, really. He gets out. He approaches the one with the beer. He hits the radio with his ID, and bam. The guy with the beer is flat down on the ground. He's not pinned down. He has fallen over. The stress of the warrant. His woman, or a woman in their set, same jacket, is leaning over him a little, and I look at him totally worried. An old man hanging out points out that you have to go to the hospital right after you fall over. The blonde girl who hangs out remembers somebody who hit their head and was fine, and then they died, and I bring in my social commentary. New age people and hippies don't go to the hospital at the right time. They wave bamboo around. My illustrator died that way. Or she was gonna be my illustrator. And the same two young EMT guys who just carried Toasty away on a gurney come back, one gently saying, "So what happened to you?" To the formerly beer-carrying ordinary Joe from out of town, well, he fell over. Well, his night is over. Though none of us said or did anything memorable, though nobody I know is immediately being one of the girls in tuxedo shorts, or knowing one, or even getting to where one of the hopeful seasonal flaneurs will really talk to them at all. They're going to remember this night, those four, just for the rotten luck and the bad geography, and the pathetic but understandable attempt to be near where the action, any action, is, or was, or might be, or is replicated. You might laugh, but you were young once, children. Odds are, if you laugh the wrong way, you will never be young again. So forget about those four, those hundreds, those cops. Just try and remember how the hell it all began, and who was making that 500% markup, and why we need it so much. Exactly. This is a song about, well, you know, the Gabor family. She threw the dishes right out the window, so she didn't have to wash them. That was Ava. Hair a disciplined structure of white gold chiffon. That is beauty to me. Desperate as hell, I took all my money, $150 cash. Jaja, you see, had fell in love with a bad crowd of Palm Springs grifters. They waited for these ladies to fade. They'd all fallen on their head a few times. The men Jaja liked were small. Porfino Rubirosa. George Sanders. He got so bored, he paid for the cleanup of his body in the hotel. Jaja gave him a piano. He moved that piano into her house in Bel Air, out of her house in Bel Air. And I believe that the term gigolo is much more flexible than a mistake. A head-injured Gabor might make it the very end. Some people are hustling for soul. or because they were born. Dazzling. Thank you. Now this fellow, through the synchronistic good graces of New Orleans, played in one of my favorite bands, Snake Finger. Dude.
Hey!
He's also guested with Paul Revere and the Raiders and Peter Noon from Herman's Hermits.
When I was a child. A mere child.
Oh yeah, you must have been like what, 5, 6? Clubhouse for the guys. The style of their time. But they move for each other. For me even. They're a little bit free. Up all night, down all day. Talking fast about that's about it. A lot of people are it does seem to be men. I don't know that many women, but they talk about what they did, what didn't happen, what almost happened. But that's right. You weren't born yet. Baby. You weren't born yet. Baltimore, 91. Years ago for I went to Baltimore. And I danced with a man. Bambi Purcell, Hamby the Gals, and Christian Louboutin. Why should I care? We had ups, we had a downs, we had a downs. They shouted freak, freak at us as we walked by. Oh well, freak, freak at us as we walked by. Can't please everybody. You weren't born yet. Beep, beep. A bang, bang. We were waiting for the brutality to fade, for your gentility to date us. We were waiting even for the trans counter person behind the Chili's counter at the Milwaukee airport. We were waiting for you. Thank you. Thank you. Fernando, I'm putting you in charge of the video. Leadership qualities. This is a day program I visited my friend in. Bang, bang. You want to do a blues song? Just do it. You cried once. You cried twice. Like the poet said, get your cutthroat off my knife. You screwed me once, you screwed me twice. Third time you screwed me, I found out you had a wife, but I'm not that man. No, I'm not that man. You stole my guitar, you ran to LA. Don't you know that you will never get away? I dreamed I saw you walking up the street. You were smoking with a black shirt on and dragging your feet is never worth what we do to each other. Treat everyone I stand like your own brother. Take a big fruit. I'll meet you when we're 70. We both lived too long. He took us somewhere, right? We'll go to the corner bar like nothing went wrong. First, I'll tell you why I don't drink, and then I'll order two. And I know you don't drink, so I'll meet you in the middle. You always knew what was wrong, so answer me this riddle. You had a sensei, and you ate kelp. Tell me, darling, did it help? I'll never meet you when I'm 70, unless I'm carrying a gun. You were entirely too much trouble, darling, for just a little bit of fun. I'll meet you in the afterlife, and after hours. The rotting bartender will promise not to serve you anymore. The bouncer will toss you out the last door. I can forgive some things, but I can't forgive all. It still matters what you're doing, darling. At the last call. I never thought I'd get over him. How about that? Thank you, sir. I think I know who my husband after my next husband is going to be. My husband after next.
Future ex-husband?
Future ex-husband, but I have one lined up, next one lined up, and then I'll have one, him. Now, I did this 86 project, and I interviewed a lot of people who were really good talkers, and they talked about getting kicked out of a lot of places or doing the kicking out. So I'm going to wind up this little spin on stage with, would you prefer someone who does the kicking out or got kicked out?
Got kicked out.
Okay, so this is this guy. Now happy father of two in Chicago, Jeff Dickinson, but his blackout name is Darryl Kravitz. I have been thrown out of numerous bars. However, I'm here to tell the story of one particular night when I was thrown out of the same bar twice.
Yeah!
A different bar once. And one bar I wasn't even thrown out of, but I had to go back to. The bartender didn't like the look at me when I saw him again. Drunk woman, do you have a light? Drunk woman, do you guys have a light? This is about to Daryl now. So what happened is, I was going drinking from bar to bar, and at the first bar, I ordered a shot of whiskey, and I got it on the rocks. a man bought me a Heineken, all the while advising me that I should not mix my whiskey and my beer. So ignoring, of course, his opinion, I went on and had more Heineken. I played some pool. I won and I lost, and I had some more whiskey, and I kept moving on because I was bar hopping. I ended up somewhere down around the 50s on 7th Avenue. And I was in this bar, and I had my shoes off, and I wasn't wearing shoes at this point because I was trusting God. So I left to get cigarettes, and I went across the street, and I was trying to ask that man what kind of cigarettes he had, but he refused to tell me. He asked me what I wanted, and I said, "What do you have?" And he asked me what I wanted, and I said, "What do you have?" I said, "Well, I want Camel filters," and he said, "We don't have that." And I said, "Well, what do you have?" He wouldn't tell me. So I had to peek behind the counter against his wishes. He was standing right there, so it was hard. So I had to go and do that. Meantime, a bum was trying to buy something. Just a second. I called him a bum, but I don't really know him. He was trying to buy something and only had was 90 cents. He needed 10 more cents to buy what he wanted, and the guy was refusing to give me even 10 more cents. I was so insanely angry at that man that I just tore up a $1 bill and I threw it in his face. And he threw it back at me. And I took it. I took it in my pocket. And I left. And I tried to piss on the place, but I just didn't have to piss. So it was just a few little and nothing else. After I pissed on it, I couldn't find the bar where I had left my bag and the shoes. Why would I do that? He's talking back to the drunk girl. Angry. I wanted to desecrate him. No, I could have given him 10 more cents, but the guy I was trying to buy cigarettes from wouldn't give him 10 more cents, and I was mad. Drunk girl. No, but why? He deals with it every day of his life. Darryl. I deal every day with my life not having 10 cents. So I was on his side. Drunk woman. Darryl. Guess how much money I have? Drunk woman. Whatever. You wouldn't be living in New York City looking how you look. Darryl. Guess how much money I have available right now? Drunk woman. I don't need to know. Darryl. 35 cents. 35 cents is the answer. So I try to piss on the building and I succeed in a very limited sense. And then I try to find my bar and I can't. So I go walking down the street in my bare feet and I find this prostitute. And we get to talking and I'm like, well, I need to find my shoes. And she's like, well, maybe let's try this bar. So we go to this bar, except it's down an avenue, and which I'm absolutely sure, positive, is not the avenue I was on. We go down to this other place, and it's very well lit and red, and I buy her a drink, and I buy myself a drink. She sits on the other edge of the bar. I sit there and I'm like, well, why isn't she talking to me? I mean, obviously I just bought her a drink, but that's not the problem. I'm the problem. I'm drinking, and I finish my whiskey. I'm thinking, well, where the fuck are my shoes and my bag? I have to work tomorrow. I'm teaching children gymnastics. And my uniform is in the bag. So I take off running down the street. I turn down the avenue. I turn up the street. And I go up to a different avenue. And I see this guy that I remember vaguely. I was bothering everybody. I wasn't really looking at them. I was just bothering them. But I remember looking at him. So I'm like, where's that bar we were at? And he's just like, ah. He had 3 hot chicks with him, too. I noticed that, but I can't really do anything about it because I really need my shoes and my bag. And he's like, it's right there. It was exactly across the street from the place I tried to piss on. I bang on the window because the bar's closed. The bartender looks through the window and sees me. He holds up his fingers to say, just a moment. And he returns with my bag and my shoes. And I return to the bar where I say not truthfully, but personally, my prostitute was waiting, but she wasn't waiting. I was triumphant and alone. And I drank 2 more drinks. I started noticing that every girl in that bar had at least 4 big guys around her, but I couldn't keep myself from staring and feeling like I was getting in trouble. Then I saw a gas mask on a shelf on the wall. And I thought to myself, nobody, not one person is going to escape a gas attack. Not one person. Why? Because they're privileged, because they're strong enough to take it from everybody else. He means the gas mask. So I rip it down. My shoes and my bag are completely ready. And I run, and I didn't even take it. I just rip it down, throw it down on the floor, and then I run out of the bar. I'm running on my bare feet, down the streets of Manhattan, down 8th Avenue. And the bartender's chasing me, which I didn't expect. And I turn on an avenue, and I hear the footsteps approaching closer. I turn around, and it's a cop, and the cop grabs me and wrenches my arm up behind me, and I'm screaming now, of course, because I'm in pain, and I hurt. And when I scream, my voice echoes off the wall and bounces from the buildings. It's very loud. I'm screaming. You are in complete control. There is no reason to hurt me. There is a cop on each of my bare feet. One cop holding my arm wrenched up behind my neck, while my face is pressed against the back of a squad car, and I start to realize the helplessness of my situation. I look into the crowd of cops. Now there's 20 cops. It started with 2. My face was against the back of a squad car, and I was staring at this huge, fat cop. Like stereotypical pig, little beady eyes and a huge fat unused body, so my face is pressed against the squad car, and I start licking the dirt off the back of it. I'm staring into his face. I'm thinking, what these guys really want is my supplication. What these guys really want is my humiliation and my degradation. And I was standing up, and they're trying to press me back down onto the cop car, but I refuse. I have knowledge at this point that the cop's facial pressure on my body cannot force me down. There are not enough cop hands to make me bow if I don't wish to. An ambulance pulled up, right? And I got in, and they strapped me in, still handcuffed behind my waist, and I'm yelling at the cop who's with me, and there's this girl cop who's bending to get out of the ambulance. You have to duck your head, and I fucking sweep my feet out. I slip kind of under my belt, and I kick her right between the legs. I can't even say ass shot because it was right between the legs, and not even that hard. I got thudded over the head on the back of my head by a cop, and never is there an explanation. Just for the record, I have no record. Then, I'm in the ambulance. I'm trading cops with insults. I mean, trading insults with cops. All the way to Bellevue. And they take me out, and I step out of my handcuffs, and I take my hands, and I lower them below my feet, and I step out of them so they're in front of me, and the cops are a bit stupefied at first, and then they accept it. And they just let me go after they tied me to a gurney. I'm at the Bellevue Emergency Psychiatric Ward. I talked to a psychiatrist. I assure her that I love my parents. And that tonight really just kind of got, out of hand. And that's that. I got my own room. I told the people behind the glass that I was hungry. They gave me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich along with a half pint of chocolate milk, which I got to eat in my own room. I wake up and some people are taking my blood, and I fell asleep again. I had French toast with a very pretty girl who was also in the emergency psychiatric ward. And I had an interview with a psychiatrist who told me that I should take a good look around and see if I wanted to come back here. He also told me that nobody took my blood, that there was no reason to. So I have a blood sample somewhere in Bellevue. By the time I went back to take a look around, the pretty girl I've been talking to was doped up on her meds and already asleep. And they called my work and told them that I was in the emergency room. They did not tell them that I was in the psychiatric emergency room. And they did not tell them that the police had taken me there, for which I'm eternally grateful. So I left the Bellevue Emergency Psychiatric Ward. I picked up my wallet again. I bought a payday on my way to the subway. And the sun was shining and the world was beautiful. And I felt great. I had the day off.
Yay!
And the next day, I went to work and I told them I was mugged. Thank you. I do have one more song. Well, I'll just do a short little poem because, I don't go on and on and on. There are 3 more 86 interviews in here, but it's not good to take up all of it.
Oh, it is too.
Yeah, we run it.
That smile. We are high together in this world. You're a doll of a tax burden. Your intelligence is a trinket. That brain is so off. Throbbing gristle plays like a lullaby. My hero has a little hole in his sweater. I love you. You both look away. Gun shy? Not even. It's a truce. We could take a little gun. Thank you. Good night.